Okay, anybody that's familiar with anybody that's watched my videos, uh, I'm making another one. And I'm going to use one of my previous videos that I put on the YouTube 3 years ago. This video was made 3 years ago before I sold my second house in Sundance, active adult community here in Buckeye, Arizona. But I could write a book about living in this HOA. It's similar to plantation living, antebellum South plantation living. I feel like I'm a slave, and I was, and I'm attempting to prove in many ways how I was enslaved for 19 years. I bought 3 houses here overlooking the signature hole, some of the nicest lots as far as a view over the lake, and that was 19 years ago. And I've had nothing but trouble since. And so we're going to start this video, and it's a lecture about how my lot, I had 3 lots here above the lake, right off the 6th tee box, right off the ladies' tee box for the 6th hole. And I feel that the golf concessionaires have been using AI. A lot is talked about AI lately, artificial intelligence. Well, I've seen nothing but artificial intelligence from this golf concession since I've been here. Artificial intelligence. I've been around golf 60 years. I've played many, many courses that were in the country. They weren't community courses. They weren't adult community courses like we have here in Arizona. They weren't HOA. They weren't courses that were surrounded by HOA communities. They were courses, and when you had an out of bounds, lots of times the out of bounds was determined with how much of a maintenance crew you had. I've played courses where during the season, if they have a 6-month season, by the end of the 6-month season, there's so much vegetation off the main fairways that it becomes an animal to try to maintain. Now here at Sundance, they don't have that problem. So they're able to take all the land they own as a golf course, and that's right on your property line. There are no out of bounds on golf course property. They don't put out of bounds stakes on their property. The magic of selling a golf course is linked. Everybody wants to play the longest course. Well, they have the longest, biggest little golf course in the world here in Sundance. Okay? Now, I'm going to let this presentation go. Thank you for listening, and I'll start it. I made it 3 years ago. Right about the time that Austin Ballio, the lawyer, the initial first lawyer hired by Sundance Active Adult, this was around the time he walked onto my property one day. He came down the property line, some golfers that were sitting on the 6th tee, told me he came down the access easement, he walked down the property line, he walked onto my property between my houses, took a good look at my yards, took a look at the lake, and then walked off my property. I caught him in the mirror. Just as he was starting to walk off my property, I saw him in the mirror. By the time I got to him at the property line, I challenged him. Who are you and what are you doing here? All right? And this insolent little lawyer who's probably less than half my age, who grew up in Malibu, who's educated in Salt Lake City, whose profession is collections, walked onto my property, okay? Trespassed. Almost got me into a fight with a golfer that was about 3 inches taller than me and outweighed me by about 30 pounds. Okay? Have Austin Valio tell you the story. I'm going to send this video to the lawyers. Those lawyers haven't contacted me. And when I try to contact Caroline, she won't listen to me. Nobody will watch my videos because they're afraid they might get educated. Now, what I'm going to do is start the video and let you watch and hear my point of view as far as being nailed to a cross, handcuffed, targeted, whatever you want to call it. I have to deal with day-to-day risk of being hit by golf balls coming in my yard, golf balls breaking my solar panels, breaking my windows, and if I have guests, hitting my guests or me, day in, day out. And one of the reasons is because the golf course decided to make my lot out of bounds. They haven't got an out of bounds north of the cart path on the 6th hole. Out of bounds is my lot. They've got more forgiveness up here than they do a fairway. We got more landing area up there that should be out of bounds. If you move those out of bounds stakes down to around the cart path, you would narrow the focus of the golfers. But you want to make a long course, and the only way you can make a long course forgiving is to give them that option of out of bounds. I can hit it anywhere out there. I'm safe all the way up to that guy's property. And because of that policy, golfers are often walking property lines. They don't know if they hit it in. They don't know what yard they hit it into. They don't know. It was too far away. So they start walking down the property line, metering your yard. They shouldn't be up here. Those out of bounds stakes should be down by the cart path. If they were down by the cart path, people would be a little more focused. They wouldn't be as, there's no risk for them. They can get back there on that 177-yard tee and boom, grip and rip. All right? If they take out a solar panel or one of my windows, the golf course attitude is, oh well, it was an accident. It was an unintentional accident. It was, the guy hit my house on the 4th ball from back there. And then I watched him play out the hole, and he took like a 10 on the hole because he hit it back and forth over the green. He's got no short game and he doesn't know how to putt. But he's back there at 177 yards, hitting 3 or 4 balls in a windstorm. Now I'll start the video. I hope I haven't ruined it for anybody. Staked peg. And here we are right now. Here's what I deal with day in and day out. Just watch this first ball right there. See that ball? I have to deal with this day in and day out. Golf balls in my yard. Every time I get a golf ball in my yard, these adolescent hillbilly golf managers over here with complete immunity, and everything else to what my risk. You see that tee box right there? This is the handcuffs that these morons in the golf shop put on me every morning. Every morning. Every day. I can't get away from it, and I can't defend myself against this. the golf course makes me, they turn up the risk on my lot. Anybody that understands golf, anybody that's been around golf, I've been around golf for like 60 years. 60 years since I first tried to hit a golf ball. So I've been around it, and I played it probably for about 50 out of that 60 years. I played it a lot. I've seen every kind of bad shot off every tee. And for a golf concession to not understand the risk that I have to deal with day in and day out, okay? What can happen will happen. Now, I'm going to change my approach today and not talk about the risk to me, but I want to talk about the risk that you're exposing your golfers to. I want to tell you what happens here day in, day out. And someday, what can happen will happen. You want to laugh me off and think I'm an old dinosaur, but that tee box right there, all the way from this golf cart up here at the ladies, all the way to back to where that guy is standing, is a secondary landing area for the 5th hole second shot. Just like I'm a secondary landing area, I'm a secondary target. If you can't hit the first target, if you do your best and you miss the first target, the secondary target is me up here. For anybody who's struggling, but what else is going on is where that man is standing, the first guy up here, and that man right there, where they are, they're in the hot zone. They're in incoming. They're in the interdiction and harassment fire from the fairway on the 5th hole. Day in, day out. As many balls that go into my yard. I've had thousands and thousands of balls go into my yard from that tee box where people lose focus. This is monkey see, monkey do golf. These are people that refuse to take a lesson. They have so much ego and belief in their ability that they go, don't worry, I'll figure it out. Well, while they're figuring out hitting 5 balls at a time off a tee box, I'm in range. I'm in range and downrange. Now, I want to get across to the people who run this concession, where those men are standing. Gets even more balls land there from the 5th fairway than land in my yard during the day. I will bet there's an equal amount. If I get 5 balls in my yard during the day, there'll be 5 balls that landed on that tee box from the 5th fairway, because you've got guys out in the 5th fairway with a wood in their hand. They're trying to hit the green. You see the green over there in the distance, in the far off? That cart, that's the green they're trying to hit. You're actually closer to the 5th fairway to a second shot right here than you are to the green. And if a guy pushes one right, that happens all the time. All the time. Okay? You're subjecting all your golfers. And when you start getting busy, and you start selling 250 rounds of golf, which is bound to happen sooner or later, if you leave that tee box there, somebody's going to get nailed by a golf ball one day. Because you're going to have crowds. You don't have any... the golfers that you have here, for the most part, have no sense of pace of play. Okay? They won't take a putt out of order to speed up play. If they're playing with 3 other buddies, this false sense of golf etiquette where you've got 12 people out here on the tee, 3 groups waiting for you, and because the guy's down there making a second shot in the back by that, looking for his ball, you're going to wait for him before you putt. Okay? That's what I call false etiquette. The thing is to move the field. And one thing that slows the field down here is people punching over their weight. Okay? When you get somebody on that tee and they tee up 4 balls,
because they don't know what they're doing, and you got a group of 4 guys teeing up 2 and 3 balls each. There's times where I see 8 and 9 balls in a foursome off the black tees and the gold tees back there. They're spraying it everywhere. And what's even more about it is they've got people backed up behind them. They've got an army of golf carts. Now, you're going to have an army of golf carts stretching from the ladies' tee box all the way up to the corner one of these days. One of these days when you start selling 250 rounds again. Well, what happens when you add frequency? You got 250 rounds, not 100 or 75 like you're doing now. When you get 250 rounds and you've got guys from the 5th fairway and the tee box, long tee boxes all hitting 4 and 5 balls each off the tee, all right? Because they refuse to take a lesson, okay? What that means is that tee box is going to be loaded up. It's going to be high-density residential with golfers. And you've got people out in the 5th fairway cranking. They don't know that they have people over here on the right. There's balls lost to the right from the 5th fairway day in and day out. Somebody's going to get killed here. Somebody's going to get injured. It may be somebody near and dear to you. I know you don't care about me. That's why you put that tee box there. But if you care about your golfers, maybe you should take that tee box and move it to the other side of that little harbor. You could have a string of tee boxes coming down the other side of that harbor. That way you take all the golfers who wait to hit their second shot. They're waiting for golfers that have no sense of play. When they hit the ball back in that harbor, everybody drops everything and they go looking for the ball. Everybody should be playing their ball and getting the hell off the green and moving. But these people don't have that sense of play. They're new golfers, they're amateur golfers, they don't have a clue. And they don't have a clue as far as etiquette that they, all the golfers I'm dealing with here is I have to be a golf pro up here. I have to be a golf pro because I've been around golf for 60 years. I know that golfers don't belong on private property. Plus, I played golf in California for about 10 years. I had 10 years of playing golf in California on patio golf. You don't walk into people's yards. That's one courtesy. How do you know a Sundance golfer? They'll be the first one to pick a set of tees that they have no chance of. They're the first ones that throw the golf cart away after 3 holes. They hit 3 or 4 balls off every tee recklessly. They play the longest holes. They want to get as much out of the golf course as they can, and they're back there booming 3 and 4 balls. Well, those 3 and 4 balls are 3 and 4 balls of risk. And if they're doing it off the 5th fairway, you've got maybe at times 12, 13 people standing there all moping, a mass, what I call a mass spreader event. You've got 10 or 15 people waiting to hit, waiting for a bunch of slobs on the green who are practicing false etiquette. Instead of putting their ball and getting the hell off the green and keeping things moving, they're practicing this etiquette. The guy's, he's putting for a 9. In reality, he's putting for a 9. He hit 3 balls off the tee, and it took him 4 balls to even get near it. He's putting for a 9 from 12 feet away, and he thinks it's for the U.S. Open. He's putting for the U.S. Open. He's lining up the shot. He's surveying, and he's being Tiger Woods. The camera's on him. Meanwhile, you've got 16 golfers up here wondering, what the hell, when are these people going to get off the green? Okay? They don't know what they're doing. There's no marshal here to move them along. So you're going to have this filled with people. And the more people you put here, the more frequency of odd shots. Now, I'm going to talk about odd shots. Brooke Koepka here, I think won the Phoenix golf tournament this year. He did like 3 birdies and an eagle coming in.
Okay, I stopped it there. We didn't go any further. There's much more, but I got my point across, okay? I consider this my lots. We have a term, I work on airplanes, I'm an engineer, or I've got engineer credentials, engineering background, been dealing with engineering all my life, starting with my father, okay, who was a master of geometry. So I've been taught to think logically, engineering-wise, all my life. And we have a term in engineering called when you're slaved. When you're slaved to something, you can't get away from it. Okay? If I hook a trailer up to my car, okay, that trailer is slaved to my car. Wherever my car goes, it has to pull the trailer. So the car's slaved, the trailer's slaved, they're slaved to each other. They can't get apart, no matter what. And that terminology is used in engineering. I worked on airplanes, we use it a lot. When you have to get two things synced together and doing the same thing together, and you link them together, you slave them. One thing is slaved to the other. I'm trying to get across in all my videos to golf aficionados, golfers that think they know, okay? I'm trying to get across that with the use, if you can see that white stake and cactus, that white stake is out of bounds for the golf course. Now, you got more forgiveness up here than you got fairway on the lake side of the golf cart path. But you need all this forgiveness area up here because you want to make the hole a 777 yard hole. And you're going to make it user friendly for the golfers. What I'm trying to say is I'm a slave. I'm a slave to this golf course day in, day out. I can't get away from it. I live here on the golf course. Now, if they were to take those white stakes and move them about 30 feet to the crest of that hill and indicate all the way the length of the hole that if you go past those white stakes, you've lost a shot. You've lost a shot. Instead, we've normalized with this type of golf course, this is arena golf. This is miniature golf. They took a golf model of an HOA community, a community golf model, and they shrunk the course and the footprint of the course until they got to the point where how far can we go? How far can we shrink a course and put the out of bounds right on everybody's property line and get away with it and break windows all day? We have wind here. Lots of it. In the morning, in the afternoon, and on one of the smallest footprint golf courses in the valley for its length. And they're getting away with this by having all this forgiveness on the north side of the cart path for number 6 hole. They can get back there and grip and rip knowing that until I break somebody's window up there or put a ball in their yard, and I have complete immunity that I can go up and scour their yard, walk along their property line, if I want with a camera, if I want with a golf course, golf cart, and if I should see a golf ball in somebody's yard. You know? Hey, they're all snowbirds. Nobody's home. Right? What hurt is it to do the Sundance two-step? Step over their property line and get my ball. It doesn't stop there. They walk up between your houses. They walk onto your patio and turn your patio furniture over. I've been there. I've done that. All right? Come out in the morning and somebody's on your patio turning over foreign furniture. And the first thing he says to you is, "Oh, it's okay. It's only a golf ball." Hello? Are you paying the dues here? You pay my taxes? How about if I come walk on your property? Walk on your patio? And the thing of it is, I'm getting a lot of feedback when I send these videos out on YouTube from the morons in the golf community that are all saying the same mantra. You bought a house on a golf course. I didn't buy a house on a golf course. This isn't a real golf course. And it's, like I said, it's being run by artificial intelligence. Okay? These people, I do not see me as an equal or a citizen or I have any civil rights to safety up here. You don't have any civil rights. We can assault you day in and day out. Assault is when you create fear. Assault is when you hold a hammer over my head all day and I'm worrying about getting hit. And that's what you do when you take that tee box all the way back to where those golf carts are right now. You put it all the way back on the corner as far back as you can. And then you take the flag and you put it all the way over to the right. You've made the perfect storm for me. All we need is for you to sell over 200 rounds of golf, and I'm going to have 3 or 4 balls in my yard. And people trespassing on me. All right? I'm going to stop here. Thank you for listening.